YouTube. It is Go Offensive, and first of all, I want to apologize for not uploading for such a long time. But the reason was, first of all, I wasn't really interested in Battlefield 3 anymore because, well, after quite, I think it was 1,200 hours, it kind of became kind of stale, and I didn't want to play it anymore. So I played GTA 5 and Dark Souls and all these other games I was interested in. But now the Battlefield 4 Beta is out, and I had quite a struggle recording this game at all, or even playing it, because, well, performance was bad. And at first I gave up, like, hey, not gonna play the beta, not gonna record anything, just gonna wait for the full release and hope for a better performance. But I got it all sorted out. I heard of a tip called install Windows 8.1 and it's all gonna be good again, and it worked. Now I have 30 frames while recording in 720p, and that's better than nothing. I know the full game is gonna be better. I'm gonna give you 1080p footage again, but for now this is all I can give you. And this gameplay is gonna be just one run in the attack chopper, the Chinese one, the Z10W. I don't know what's it called, but I want to talk about the beta in general, and especially about vehicles, since this gameplay is going to be chopper only, and it's just one run with this random guy called Button. You can see it on the bottom right. He's a really good pilot. He kept us up for almost the entire game now, and kudos to him. Also friend requested him, I believe. Let's see if he will accept it. So first of all, the performance is bad, right? But it's just a beta, okay? We all know betas are not really, I want to say, famous for good performance. And also there are quite a few glitches, even though it's not as glitchy as Battlefield 3 was during the beta. I mean, you can't just, like, go under the map or something like that. I've seen a few bugs, but they're not game-breaking. Like, the elevator is still active when the sea skyscraper collapses and all that stuff, but it's all good for now. It's all playable, especially if you have a decent frame rate, which is hard to get, but there are a few workarounds, and just Google it or check the Badlog forums. You will get you help if you have any problems playing this game properly. So, diving straight into the mechanics, vehicles are kind of nerfed, in my opinion, especially helicopters, because this 30mm cannon I'm using as a gunner is really weak. You can have to direct impact with quite a few shells before even infantry to go down, and it deals almost not really significant damage to choppers. But it does some damage. And on the other hand, you still have unlimited ammo in vehicles, but you have to wait for it. If you see on my HUD on the bottom right now, there's this little bar filling up again and again, and each time it fills up, it gives me 30 more shots. So pretty much one magazine, if you will. And this also works for tanks and other stuff. And I have to keep an eye on that, because if I run out of ammo, I'm not gonna shooting anybody for quite a while. And this can cripple your gameplay quite a bit. Also too, for this Shanghai map, it is very, very annoying when the entire enemy team is just camping on rooftops, because you will get sniped a lot playing this map, which can be annoying. I've been on rooftops a lot too, but it's that kind of vertical gameplay I don't really like. But if that's just one map, maybe they fix some things, or I don't know what. Also, each of these rooftops is accessible. So some of them has elevators leading up, or you can just jump out of a helicopter type deal. Or most people will just spawn on other guys up there. And if one guy is on a rooftop, it is very likely that quite a few people will join him, pretty much the entire squad normally. And as you can see right here, I cannot shoot anything right now because I had to wait for the reload. This little bar up there was out of ammo in a vehicle, and this is concept which is pretty new to Battlefield. And I don't know how it's gonna translate into the full game, because vehicles are a lot more difficult to handle now. You have to keep an eye on your ammo, You have to keep an eye on, well, your sides, because the disabling doesn't work like it did before. Like, you can get disabled in one hit if it hits a certain part of your vehicle. Like, for example, if we get hit in the rotors, we will just go down like a rock because the rotors will be disabled. Or, let's say you're in a tank and a single shot from even just an RPG will be a mobility hit and you cannot move anymore. So the hitbox is a lot more complex on vehicles, which can be quite a pain sometimes. But you can still handle it, but you have to think out of the box, sort of, because vehicles are not as easy to handle as they were in Battlefield 3. And for the beta, we don't have reactive armor yet, so pretty much tanks are glass cannons. And for choppers, as you can see right here, my pilot, he kind of uses all these buildings for cover, especially when we get locked on, because if you haven't noticed yet, you can lock on to all kinds of vehicles using just the RPG. If a recon uses his laser marked thing, I don't know what's it called, I think it's PDR something, I'm not really sure. This thing can lock on vehicles, and then you can just use an RPG, just aim down sight. If it says shoot, just do so, and you pretty much get a guaranteed hit on it, because I don't even think they get a warning sign for an incoming RPG which is locked on. So you pretty much, like, if you lock on to a full transport chopper, you're pretty much guaranteed a multi-kill. That's how simple it is, but it's not overpowered in my opinion, because it still needs some teamwork, since you need a recon who stays on target. Like, you cannot lock on and lock on stays like it was back in Bad Company 2 when shooting tracer darts. He has to stay on target, so in a chopper is quite easy to avoid, just like my pilot is doing right now. Also, you in a chopper or any kind of vehicle, if you get locked on, you get a directional marker telling you where the lock-on is coming from. So you can kind of react to the threat, or either kill it or just flee from it and go behind cover. It's not too hard. Also, to the gun mechanics, I think it's just a beta, and I think the netcode is not perfect yet, but it kind of feels like you get killed instantly by automatic weapons. Like, it's just one bullet and you're dead. Of course, if you get shot in close quarters with an assault rifle, it's just 2 hits to the head and you're dead, and it goes really quickly. But, well, you can still get over it, sort of. Especially thinking about it's just a beta. I've seen people bitching about it quite a bit, like, oh my god, the performance is so bad, I don't like the gunplay, and so forth. I don't really agree with that. The gunplay is excellent in my opinion, because it kind of reminds me of the way Bad Company 2 was, because without the suppression, well, there is still suppression, if you want to call it suppression, but the only thing it does is blows your vision. It does not add, I think it adds a little bit of more recoil, but it doesn't add random bullet deviation. So that's kind of a plus. So you will be able to give out accurate fire even when you're suppressed. But you have to keep in mind that the netcode is not really good. It's still not. And that's mainly because it's just a bad. I don't know if they fixed that or it's gonna be better. Or maybe it's just my lag, because the game is not very fluid overall. I believe it's just a beta. I would wait for the full game to give a full review about the performance rating in this game. And another thing I've noticed is the skyscraper goes down extremely quickly. Like, I've never seen a game where the skyscraper still stands after like 30 seconds. Like, everybody goes to the pillars, destroy it, and it's gonna go down. Which adds this little area I'm shooting at right here, and recapping the flag actually. And this little area kind of reminds me of, it could be his own TDM map, if you know what I mean. That's how big this is. It's like, I believe it's 150 meters across, so it could be a map in itself. And I think that's what DICE went for. Like, all these little flags are kind of little TDM maps. Like, for example, take the flag which makes out the... what's it called? The domination map. Like, there's a smaller domination version, which is just the T flag and the building next to it. Like, right here, where we're flying over. And that's quite a bit. Here, it happens. Critical damage. The rotor is offline. Fortunately, it didn't take long to get back online, but it was kind of scary because I'd never seen this before. And my pilot takes a good job taking this guy out right here. He did a good job in general. So, for my next plans and making videos for Battlefield 4, I will probably make one montage. I'm not gonna know who's editing it, if I edit it myself. Still need quite a few more clips though, because I haven't been able to play this game for the longest time. And I also don't have that much time anymore, and here we go, multi-kill, I love that. So this little streak, or chopper round, or whatever you want to call it, is going to come to a close, because all good streaks come to an end, eventually. And we didn't quite make it to the end of the game, but I was really glad that I finally found a pilot who was kind of good, because it was really hard to get into the pilot seat myself, because once the chopper pops up, which is pretty rarely, I think the respawn time is pretty long, so I had to wait quite a while, and then someone else just got into the pilot seat, only get the gunner, and quite a lot of people only use these things to get on the nearest rooftop to snipe a bit, but this one was actually kind of good, or really good rather. So I want to thank you really much for watching. I'll bring out a new commentary, I believe next weekend, if I have the time. Otherwise, enjoy the beta, keep in mind it's just a beta, it's gonna be better in the full game. And that's pretty much it. We're gonna crash in just a few seconds, and if you ask me, this is the way to go. Just an epic explosion. So, thank you for watching, see ya, goodbye.